So the other two kinds of reactions we'll be learning for our triglycerides are hydrolysis and saponification. So overall, these processes are very similar. It's just different conditions to get to almost the same thing. But they have they're very distinct at the very end, as you'll see. So the first one, hydrolysis or water splitting, hydro for water, lysis for splitting. We take our triglyceride and we add our three water molecules. And in this case, you'll see that we have to have either an acid or a lipase. That is an enzyme that catalyzes this. So I'm going to write lipase. So we have our triglyceride and three waters and our acid catalyst or our enzyme catalyst, lipase. And what that does is it does the exact opposite that we learned in the last section where we form the triglycerides. Now we're going to break them apart. So we're going to break this bond here, the oxygen to the carbonyl carbon. So you'll see that water, the hydrogen, or one hydrogen goes on to the OH that we're now forming. And the other OH part of the water goes on to your fatty acids. So you get glycerol plus 3 fatty acids out of this process. And then our last reaction is saponification. So the same triglyceride, but now we're going to use basic conditions. So sodium hydroxide. And it's very important in this particular reaction that you add heat into the reaction as well. It does not work without heat. So we've learned this reaction, called it a slightly different thing. Well, we still called it saponification. But remember, this is the process of making soap. Saponification, soap, is where that root is from. So we take that triglyceride and we're going to break that same bond that we just did in our hydrolysis. But now we're going to have our deprotonated fatty acid with our sodium, and our hydroxide is going to be kind of split, but you can see that we have our H over on our alcohol now. Okay, and then we get our 3 carboxylate fatty acids out of this. And these are what our soap molecules are. So back in the day, what they would do is take animal fat, which was a triglyceride, and they would mix it with sodium hydroxide, and that's how they would make bars of soap. It's still the most, not necessarily most common way to make soap now, but the most like people who do like natural organic ways of making soap, that is what we're doing, or what they're doing in order to get that natural soap.